Hi, I'm Henry Morel, and I've been with the Claflin Hill Symphony Orchestra since its onset about 2003 or 2004. I actually played with the Milford Concert Band before that in 2000. Growing up, my mom played piano and violin, and had an older brother, much older, 14 years older than I was, and he was a percussionist, and actually played in the Navy band. So I was able to get that influence in the percussion from my brother mainly. And as I progressed, started at age 10 on snare drum, but it was really when I got into high school that I really got serious as a freshman in high school. A gentleman by the name of Walter Takazik was an extremely important man in my life, and he's since passed, but he really turned me out to percussion. I attended Mount St. Charles Academy in Woonsocket, and I had a great band director there, Brother Henry Peter, and I played in the concert band, jazz band. That was just a lot of fun doing that, you know. And I was in the All-State Band in Rhode Island. I grew up in Rhode Island, so that was excellent work for me there. And I went on to Boston Conservatory after I got out of high school, and actually met my wife there. She was a vocalist, and so I finished Boston Conservatory. While I was there, I did all the ensembles as well. The orchestra, the concert band, the jazz band, the percussion ensemble. It was a small school back then in 1970, and all the wind players and percussion kind of played in all the groups. So we had a lot of fun doing that. Well, my major was music education at Boston Conservatory, and when I got out, I started immediately. As soon as I got out in 1974, right up the street in the Mendon Upton School District. And I was there for 35 years and taught everything from 4th grade through the high school. And the cool thing about teaching that long is my son ended up going into music as well. He's a percussionist, and he was actually teaching the middle school, and I was teaching the high school. So he was sending all the great kids to me at the high school at Nipmuc. And my daughter played flute as well. They both played at the University of Rhode Island in the ensembles there. It's great, you know, and so proud of all of them. But yeah, it's just continuing. And now my daughter's boy just started trombone, and the 6-year-old, my son's 6-year-old, started piano. So I'm sure it's going to go on. The legacy's going to go on forever. I hope. After I got out of the conservatory, I started taking courses at Rhode Island College, and ended up joining the American Band from Providence, Rhode Island. And that band actually originated, it's our 180th anniversary. In fact, we have a concert this Sunday for that event. And so I've been with the American Band from Providence since 1979. And it's a concert band, just like our Summer Winds here with Paul and Claflin Hill. And that's been something I've been doing for all this time. And I also play with the Fantasy Big Band from Hopedale. So big band, I love big band music, and that's great stuff. And other than that, I do a lot of shows, a lot of musicals. Just finished Peter Pan in Norwood, and playing a lot of musical pits. And Claflin Hill, of course, it's a great organization. Paul's doing a great job, and I really enjoy playing with them, especially all the guys in the percussion section. You know, usually there's 3 or 4 of us, then we have a great time during our rehearsal week. Percussion is very different from a lot of, because I play the wind instruments, I teach them all, and percussion is very unique. And, you know, because a lot of times you have an important role to play. Every time you touch an instrument, everyone knows it. You know, if you're in the middle of, not that the other instruments aren't that important, but once, you know, if you go and hit a cymbal crash in the wrong spot, everybody in the world's going to know it. But yeah, we have a great time with percussion, and a lot of times that cymbal crash or that little triangle solo or a snare drum solo comes after counting like 200 measures of rest, and you come in with that one spot to accent what's going on, and that's a challenge in itself. Okay, I'd like to demonstrate the snare drum, and the different aspects of it and different sticking that you can use to play it. So obviously if you play just a single stroke, give you an idea of what the sound is like. I'm just going to play an excerpt from Maurice Ravel's Bolero, which maybe everybody can relate to. So some of the other things interesting about the snare drum, we have different what we call rudiments. One is called the flam, where one stick comes just before the other stick. We have what we call the drag, where one stick bounces before the other stick. And we have the snare drum roll, where both sticks are bouncing. So what I'd like to do next is to show you some of the accessory instruments that we play in the percussion section. So the first one is the tambourine. Some of the tambourines have a head, which we use for the symphony work, and others don't have a head, which you may use in a rock band or something like that. So the cool thing about this is it has a different kind of roll that you can do actually with your thumb or finger, where you just press on the head and you make the jingle. And finally, everyone can probably relate to this and have seen a triangle before. The triangles have multiple beaters. I have right now a very light beater, which I would play very, very soft music for. Now if I play the same thing, the same pressure, but with a larger beater, get a little louder. And finally, with some very, very percussive music, so depending on the style of music, the volume of music, I can change beaters and not actually have to change the way I perform. So we do a roll on a triangle as well by just going back and forth in this corner or the top corner. And anytime I want this to stop the ring, all I do is squeeze and stop the ring. Yeah, I remember being with the Milford Concert Band and doing those outdoor concerts in the summer. I was just filling in at that point, and Paul was playing clarinet, and I was just part of that group. And then it started to just evolve a little bit, and I heard, yeah, Paul's going to start making this and doing a symphony. I said, wow, this is going to be great. And I was lucky enough to be on board and stay on board. And he trusts our section so much. You know, he tells us that all the time. He says, I don't have to worry about you guys. You just do your thing, and it's great. You know, I don't have to worry about you. So yeah, over the years it's been wonderful, and I still continue in the summer with the Claflin Hill Summer Winds, and we play all the different concerts in the park and different places, and yeah, every concert is unique and challenging, because I mean we only have 3 rehearsals, and sometimes we have a lot of difficult music to perform, and it always comes out great because Paul has a great group. We have some crazy people in that section. I'm kind of like the straight man, I think. It's like I'm the one that doesn't get eccentric too much, but we all have our own personalities, and it's great. And the thing is we work so well together, and we're able to switch off so that no one has too much of an ego. It's like a family within a family. And all the musicians are fantastic, first of all, and it's a high-level organization. And that in itself brings you back, because if you come back and you hear these, what's going on, but there's always a high quality of performance. But it's the percussion factor, with the section and the family atmosphere of the whole group. So I hope I can do it for a long time to come.
This is Milford TV News and Sports Director Tim Coet. Make sure you check out new editions of the Milford Informer every Friday at 7:30 p.m. or during one of our 8 convenient re-air times throughout the weekend. You can also find individual news stories as well as full archived editions on our YouTube page My Milford TV. If you live in the greater Milford area and have an idea for a news story, you can tweet at us using the handle @Milford_TV, or you can contact me directly by sending an email to news@milfordtv.net.